Hello, it's Mary Beth Shaw from StencilGirl Products. I am here for the first Mad Scientist video of the year. You know, there's nothing I love more than to play with products and figure out how to use them with stencils. It brings me a lot of joy. And, you know, sometimes it's not pretty to watch, seriously, so just give you that warning. I do try to start by following the instructions, but then I try to also push the limits of the products and see how they perform under a variety of circumstances. Today, I am using Distress Oxide. This is a Tim Holtz product. I love this stuff. I mean, I love this stuff. I have not really found a way to stencil with it unless I just use it as a background and stencil on top of it. That works, of course, beautifully. But I want to see if I can find a way to stencil with it so that the color of the Distress Oxide is within the openings of the stencil. So we'll see what we can do. Want to come on and watch me push the limits. All right, I have a craft sheet here because it's really nice to pick up some of the Distress Oxide off of the craft sheet. I've also got some Tim tags here to use, and I've got some stencils. I have some with bigger openings and smaller openings. These are the biggest openings, and I'm just kind of curious which will work best, if I can get any of them to work, or who knows, I just don't know. And I have a spray bottle, a water bottle. So Distress Oxide, I'm going to read what it says on the back here before we start. It's acid-free, it's non-toxic. Water reactive dye and pigment ink fusion. So it's dye ink and pigment ink that creates an oxidized effect when sprayed with water. Use with stamped stencils and direct to surface. Blend using ink blending tools and foam. Re-ink with re-inkers. All right, so I see people using these all the time and they're not adding any water to it. And you know what? You're just missing the boat if you're not adding any water, because that's the thing that's so cool about it, is they, this is mahogany, aged mahogany, is they have this oxidation is this effect that happens, and when you add the water and then you get all these colors that start coming out on to the surface that you just don't expect, such as here. That is really not the color of either of those that we use, but it merges up and it just is beautiful. It is, for me, it's fascinating because I love to watch things change and see what sort of results I can get. So if you like spritz it like this, like halfway, well, this, I don't know that this spray bottle is going to do a halfway spritz here. It'll start making these little water drops like on your surface, which is pretty cool. I'm going to leave this here and I'm going to put a stencil right on top of it. And you can see how it's grabbing onto the stencil, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to use, this is walnut stain. I'm going to spritz some walnut stain on top, and then I'm going to spritz a little bit more with water, and I'm going to set that to the side and see what it does. Okay, all right, let's try, since we've got some of this all the way already out here, I think we might as well see what happens. Let's try, I think pink and brown might be super cool. So let's put some of the pink on here. And then this is wet, so I think, total coverage. Brown on top of pink. Wasn't what I was thinking. Wasn't what I was going for. It looks like some chocolate milk thing, doesn't it? I wonder if I spritz this with some of the... I think I just used way too much of everything there. For sure I did. I'm going to blot some of this up because I did not get that pink to come up at all. I'm going to have to go get the pink spray, I think, to get that. We'll use some yellow, though, with it. And let me try this other sprayer I've got here. Yeah, this is the kind of the little dribble spray that I was hoping to get. I like, you can see the little droplets of water, what they do on there is so cool, really pretty. Here's the thing about these oxides is that you can just use them over and over and reactivate, which is super fun and gives you a lot of options. Okay, I've got some more sprays here, so I think we'll be able to get some more reactions with the colors. I'm going to get a little bit, a few drops going here. Yes. Ooh, the Salvage Patina. This is a color I really like a lot. You know, if you would ask me, do I like the pads or the sprays better? And I might say the sprays, right? Because they are pretty darn versatile. I mean, you can spray a lot and get the full coverage, or you can just get a little spritz, which is pretty cool too. You can also spray right on this and then pick it up again. You know, a lot of options for sure. Tim makes this look so easy. He just like boom, 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 and has immediately created magic. And I love working with them, but I would say that I'm not quite as magical as he is. You know, I definitely like working with him. I've got a lot going on here, so I'm going to wipe off a little bit and see if I can have a little bit more control. I do want to try the pink, because this is one of the things I enjoy, is when you get these very random colors popping out. And here's like what I'm doing. I've got a little bit of, I'm going to bring this up because there's somewhat of a glare occurring. I'm going to use my finger and smear that over there. Because, you know, let's just cover the background, right? That pink. This is just a paper towel I'm getting these results with. And then I'll put a few little bubbles of water on there. Now this one, let's come back to this one. This one's got, I think, too much water on it. And I would like to use some of the Salvaged Patina on this. Oops, I missed it. And I'm gonna get a heat tool out, because that sometimes helps quite a bit. So I won't be able to talk while I'm doing this. Oh my, the colors that are coming out of these are so good. Oh my, love it, love it. So here's the thing, you can keep going and going and going with this, right? And every different color, I don't really know how you know which colors will become activated, you know. I wanted to see if I could get a little bit less when I, sometimes when I spritz it, I get more than I intend to. So let's try this. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of this. And you can already see some of this color popping up here. Now, I would never have guessed that would pop out of this tea dye, right? It didn't really make sense to me that that would be the color that would pop from tea dye, but you just never know. I want to see what this is wilted violet. I have a feeling that's going to give us a nice pop. Let's see. I think I'm going to do it that way so I can get a little bit more controlled. I like it when I can put it down and then also get a drip to come off of it, you know? Now, did you see what I did there at the end? I did a little blot of two kind of thick dots on there. And what it did was it pulled it up and it brought back some of the undercover. There are so many colors popping up on this. I think it's exquisite. I just love how this looks, right? So what I want to see now, let's see how this would work if we put a stencil. I'm going to try to spritz the back of the stencil so it's a little wet, and I'll put it on there, and it's grabbing and reactivating to a certain extent part of the color. And then let's see what color I might want to put on here. I'm going to get, I've got a, oh, I can use this. This is a sponge that I can use to put some color. I'm going to put the color on like I would with, you know, if I was just stenciling straight away, right? Let's put it on just there, a little bit across. And then let's just activate a bit. And we'll see what happens. I don't think I want to use, maybe I'll just use this slow or cooler, not so hot. All right. It looks fairly dry to me. Let's see. Oh, yes. Isn't that nice? Very pretty, I think. Very nice, very nice. Well, I would say this is a success. So my lesson on this one is to develop some layers first, then put your stencil down and see if it'll activate. And I think that's a nice way to go. Let's pull this other one out that I had set to the side and see if it's dry yet. I don't think it is. I'm going to give it another little shot of air. All right, so I'm going to lift the stencil and see what we have. Oh, very interesting. Very nice. I like that. You can definitely see the stenciling on it. You can see a few areas where we missed, like anything, which is a little weird. I'm going to move that over with my finger. And now I think I'm going to wipe this off. And I'm gonna I'm gonna put this back down, and let's see what color we want to use. Let's do this Uncharted Marine. It's a pretty intense color. And see how it pops up against this. I'm gonna use it with the sponge applicator like I did before. Oops, and then of course I shot some right on there, so. You know, this is how the experiments happen, right? Good grief. All right, so there's a little bit of that and a little bit over here. Okay, and I'm gonna put a few little drops of water to get those. I love those the water droplets. That's my favorite thing. And I'll dry it for a sec. Okay. Oh, yeah. See, that really popped it in a much more, a crisp manner, because this was pretty dry, and I put the stencil down, and then I did the boop, boop, boop with the sponge on top, and then wet it, rather than the other way around, because that first round, remember, the background was all wet when I put the stencil down. Very different result. Nice to keep that in mind for sure. So you can start with a wet background, or you can start with a fairly dry background. Now this one is fairly dry right now. Let's see what we want to use on this. Oop. Let's use some words. That'll be fun, right? We'll use some words and see how that comes out. Villainous potion. That sounds fun, yeah? Yeah, yeah. I think that might have been one of Tim's Halloween ones, Villainous Potion, right? I'm going to use two colors on this. I don't know. I'm having trouble getting this one mixed up. There it goes. Should listen for the ball. I haven't used these for a bit. I've been working with other supplies. Both the balls are moving now, so excellent. All right. So I could be using the sponge, but I've decided to walk on the wild side here. And I'm going to try something different here. I got pretty much water in there. Who knows what's going to happen. I'm going to take another tag and put it on the top. Make a little tag Sammy. Little tag sandwich here and see what happens. Oh, wow. I like it. It's not exactly a traditional type color grouping. I mean, it's not, typically I cover the entire background because I love these so much, people. But let's try this. Let's dry these down and see what we got here. All right, that's so pretty. My goodness. That was what? That was Villainous Potion and Uncharted Marine. Look at those two colors. You would never imagine this is what would come out of it. It's exquisite, isn't it? I do want a little bit of a, I'm going to wipe this off. If, you know, there's so many other things I could be doing. I could be wiping this off on another tag, on other paper. I mean, the sky's the limit here, guys. This is such a fun product to experiment with. I just love it so much, right? I'm going to see if I can get enough down here, down the side. There's that. Here's this. Might not be a dark enough color. We shall see. Probably is now. Y'all. And I'm going to shoot a little water in there to get the oxidation started. And then we'll hit it with the heat gun. Okay, let's pull this up. Oh, too wet underneath. It is very interesting though, nonetheless. And I'm going to blot the stencil off on this one. So to get a little bit of a different effect on that. And then we'll see if we can add a few more colors to this. We're going to go no stencil this time and see what happens. Let's see how this goes here. Okay, this is getting really nice. I'm going to just put a few dots here to get some of that nice little water marking here. And I'm going to just let that dry naturally. I think you've probably gotten the idea how you can just play and play and play. I mean, these are just 4 tags. And it's almost like you don't even have to think about color for one thing, because they all do tend to go together. I mean, it's a little bit mind-blowing, quite honestly, how they work so well together. So don't be afraid to play and to pick colors that you might not normally match up together and just see what happens. They are gorgeous. If you don't get something you like, wait for it to dry, put another layer on. This one looks, I absolutely adore these. I like it when I'm going to hold this up. It's like that ragged edge there. I like to exploit the opposites, the orange and the blue, of course. That's so pretty. And you can see so much of the watermarking on this. So pretty. This one has kind of all the colors. That blue, oh my goodness, so pretty. And then this one's going to dry down and be extraordinary. I do know that. Yep, 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 yep. I'm going to hit it a little bit more to get some of those watermarks. And I hope you have time to play. I hope you enjoyed playing Mad Scientist with me for a few minutes. And you can get your hands on some Distress Oxides and see what you can do in your own studio. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.